in mathematics, this this test yeah, general C.
Since we have our data into our data frame, let's apply a single candlestick patterns on our data frame to see what kind of data comes back over here or not, whether there is a data candlestick pattern recognized or not. So in our candlestick pattern, in fact in TLib, there's a lot of functions available that we can try that over here, right? Like CDL crow, CDL doji, engulfing, and all sort of thing, right? So if you wanted to access this information, how do you want to access? You can go back to the documentation again, right? I'm going to go back to main, and then in the using the functions API, right? So you can define, whatever you're looking for. So for example, let's try momentum indicators over here, like ADX. I'm looking for candlesticks over here, right? So here we go, pattern recognition. And in this, in the engulfing, let's try engulfing over here. So we got the engulfing, and then the engulfing asks us that you provide open, high, low, close prices over here, and it's actually return an integers over here. And this is called CDL engulfing as a function method. All right. So in the function, you provide the parameters over here, and this gives you whether they're within the data sets or data frame, you have any engulfing patterns arrived or not. So let's use that over here. So I'm going to go back to our Visual Studio, right? And what we're going to do next is basically, it's very simply, number one, let's delete that. And in the data frame, we're going to start applying the information. So let's call a variable called result over here. And we need to get the TLib library over here. So first of all, let's apply the TLib library over here, import TLib over here, right? So this will give us the TLib library over here, which we have installed before. Now I can use the TLib. And then inside the TLib, you can see that we have the patterns available, right? So I can do CDL engulfing, okay? And inside the engulfing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the data frame open, high, low, close. So in our individual files, the files have like open as a capital O and high and low. So let's use that over here. df open. And as I mentioned before, right? So you have open, high, low, close. So this is what we're going to do it over here. Open, high, low, and close. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And what we should do, let's just print the results over here as well. So this is going to apply the TLib inside. Okay, and let's refresh our data over here. So it's going to run that, and let's go back to our terminal, and you can see that it runs some data over here, and you can get some values like other than 0. So you got minus 100, and over here you got some patterns recognized over here also. Okay, so other than 0 value, it's giving you some data over here. So we need to say that we got our first candlestick patterns applied to our data frame. And the beauty about it is that it's actually loops to all the data, and within each of the data frames, it's apply that and give us the result over here. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we're going to loop all the candlestick patterns that is available, and we're going to apply that to data frame, and then we're going to see the results over here. So first thing first, what I want to do is to take a single candlestick pattern. So we did a import TLib over here, and we apply the TLib candlestick pattern with a parameters, and we got the results over here. All right, so let's head over to our next video, whereby we, instead of applying individually to these, there are like 30-40 of them, we're going to loop all the patterns and apply that to our data frame over here.
Also,
video, let's organize a little bit more about applying our candlestick pattern over here. So first thing first, over here we are specifically statistically we are putting the CDL engulfing over here. So instead of that, let's do a little bit of a more dynamic allocation of pattern names over here. So what we're going to do is very simple. Instead of typing directly one by one, which actually comes from our pattern variable over here, let's define a quick variable over here. So let's call it TA function, okay? TLib function or TL function, whatever it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pandas. There's a pretty good function available called get attribute, okay? And what it allows us basically is to take the string as a functionality of a function. So in the TLib, we know that TLib provide a lot of patterns recognitions over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass the get attrib